Okay, so we finally got our little guitar from Musoo in China. Lots of packing tape around the whole thing, but the outside of the box looks in pretty good condition. A little bit of a dent here. You should see on the inside, see if there's anything beyond there, but that looks pretty well protected. The big reveal, here it is, as expected. Let's just check out, it looks nicely packed. There's no dents from the outside coming through. Nice little perlite scratch pad. All looks good. Let's check into the body itself. So we've got a little Hofner style bass. See, it's got the nice binding, which all looks in pretty good condition. You can see the writing on the inside of the neck piece. Should line up with the neck itself. It does appear to have a nice mirrored grain in it. You can really see that in the image, but you can see the grain going across, so with a bit of luck we'll be able to highlight that grain in the staining process. You can see it's got a nice mirror from side to side. It doesn't appear to have any glue on the outside, which is good. That would mess up the staining. So the body looks in very good nick. Do some measurements later. We have to check that this should be a 30-inch scale. So we'll be checking to the 12th fret and make sure that then we come down to where the bridge is going to sit. Make sure we've got a 30-inch scale in there. And that looks pretty nice. The frets all feel nice and clean. No burrs on them. And there's need a little bit of sanding. There's the same number 9 that was inside the neck before, so there should be a matched neck. Should be fitted. I can see a very slight bit of shaping on the inside of the neck here. We'll see how that works out. I won't force that, but I can see that that's just a little tight there. That's good. And the Hofner style head, pre-drilled for the tuners, but not pre-drilled to actually put the supporting screws in there. And you can see the rod is there. Pickups. Some nice shiny pickups with a bit of protective plastic, that's good. Tuners, let's have a look at the tuners that's supplied. Oh, a little pearl finish. Not encased, so they don't look like some do, but that's okay. That turns fairly freely. Everything else is here. Set of strings, of course. Start with to see how they go. Here you can get a guitar lead with a couple of Allen keys. One for the neck rod. The other one probably for adjusting the bridge. Speaking of the bridge, okay, in some pieces, but bridge is already shaped, but we'll sand that down to make sure it fits the body nicely. And we'll see how that sits down because it has the adjusters under it, which are inside the box. Two of those. Okay. And a little bit more hardware. A little bit more shiny stainless steel. Some straps. Pickups, and we got electronics. So the output jack. Yeah, that looks nice. It's nice and shiny. For the treble, for the two pickups, rhythm and solo, volume for 1 and 2. The one's just about lost in there, but it's there. So first glance, everything seems complete. Let's have a go at the finish of the body. Just a couple more advances on the Hofner knockoff bass. Done some dry fitting to make sure all the parts line up well. That allowed me to the neck in place, confirm exactly where the neck was going to sit and where the bridge will sit. I've seen several videos where the bridge has to be shaped to fit the body at a particular point. I can see that's true. You can see the body is actually very nicely curved, not a flat top or a flat bottom. It's very hard to pick on the camera, but there's a very nice shape to the bass, which is just right. The only problem is the shape doesn't particularly suit the bridge. So if the bridge was sitting back there, I'd have a nice firm sitting, but if I sit where I've calculated the bridge is actually going to be, that's not so good a spot. So I've done some sanding around. I've done a few others. I've seen put some protection over the nice clean wood, put some sandpaper where it needed to be, so I've sanded that back. Haven't taken all the paper off. I can feel it's still a little bit out, but I'm assuming that the main force is going to come down through these two the adjustments here that take the force down to the rod, down to the bottom of the bridge. There is a block inside the guitar under that point, so it takes the force there, takes the force, the sound through the body. So we'll see, I may have to take that a little bit more. When I unpacked, I could see that everything was here that needed to be here. We sort of went through that earlier. Everything except instructions. So not a word of instructions on the website, and nothing came with the kit itself. I've been in touch with Musoo. Well, thank you. They eventually did answer the questions, but in no official way. So again, with the help of Mr. YouTube, I've worked out how these little dudes work. So I've fitted those two adjusters into the bottom part that holds them firm in there. Then I can use these two to bring it up to height to suit. And that height, of course, is determined by not the best, but determined by where the neck comes. It's going to sit just about there. So the neck is about right. It'll raise up a little bit from here. Using the T-square, I've been able to confirm where the neck sits, how straight it is, and where the centre point is back at the base. Because at the base, you need to know the centre point, because that's where we're going to take our saddle back here. So following the neck down, I've made some marks here, found out the centre point, so I know that that's where my saddle is going to be, so the strings will all come from this point. They should run nice and centrally now. I've been over the body and given a light sand, just take off a couple of little imperfections. I saw on one video someone had suggested that the glue, and I've said this a few times, the glue is a bit of a problem for staining. If there's a little patch of glue, the stain won't take. Someone suggested a UV light. I just happen to have a UV torch, and sure enough, as I go around, I can find little spots here and there. It does show up, probably nothing you can see on the camera, but it does show up with the UV light. Some couple of tiny little patches of glue that I've sanded off, some around these odd joins here. Maybe a couple of pieces I'll have another go at in a little bit, just to try and sand those off. But that UV light trick was quite useful. So laying everything out has allowed me to dry fit all the components of the controls, which sit upside down, so it's from the player's point of view in that position. The two pickups, I've determined which is which way they will go. I don't think there's a difference between the two pickups, but there's one at the neck, one at the bridge. With everything lined up, I've been able to position the holes. I use this tiny little spike, very useful little tool that allows me to make a very precise mark. So I've marked through all the holes and held in place, down at the base, around the controls, the pickups, and the tuners as well. So I've been able to mark all of those out. I'll do the neck rod cover. The tuners themselves, I thought they looked a little bit basic compared to some others I've got. I've got a couple of bass guitars up there, point that up in a moment. So I thought the tuners just looked, will you focus camera? Nope. Anyway, the tuners I think look a bit open and a bit average, but with that perlite finish, and I've had a look at all the original Hofners, I'm going to say that this is all intentional. This is the design of the original Hofner tuners, although the newer ones have a nice enclosed kit, something more like my Court or Kala up on the wall. So with the tuners and the neck, spin this up, pull this down, come around, they'll just fit in here, they fit quite nicely in. There's just a couple of screw holes in the back. So lining them up will be just a little tricky because they don't sit as parallel as you'd like. That's actually for that side. So I'll put the tuner above. That means that I may just put them at a slight angle. If I had them perfectly parallel, they sit a bit odd. So I want the tuners to be outside the wood of the neck. So I'll probably just keep them parallel to this curve, which which means they won't be in line with each other. But I think that's the way I'm going to set them. There's a couple of left and a couple of right ones. Keep the tuner itself above, or the knob above that point. So if I do them that way, they will match. So I think that's going to look fine. I've done some just covered the neck today because I'm about to stain. I covered the fretboard because I am about to stain the neck. All looks nice. There does seem to be a nice pattern in the body. Not so much the neck. The neck is nice, but I'm still going to put a dark stain on the neck, a brown stain on the neck itself and the head, and we'll keep that dark going around the edge. It'll be dark brown, but with a touch of the cherry red in there as well. So that'll be the dark part. The top, while it is my first effort, and who knows, maybe my last, I do like that gradual shading effect of the sunburst guitars. So I'm going to take it a dark rim around the edge, come down through a red and a yellow, and hopefully I can get this grain to stand out. I've been doing some practicing with that, so I've got some stains and been working through that. I'll show that in the next video, but I'll get the neck stained first, and then work my way up. I still haven't decided whether to use this, but I'll stain the guitar and then have a look and see, well, will I keep the original look and put the scratch on there or not. Yeah, it's nice and shiny, so it may go on. There's plenty of body to show off the colours. If I'm particularly impressed with the colours, I might not use it. If I'm happy to cover a little bit of the colouring, I'll probably put it in. This does also help line everything up. We know where it's going to go. It's not entirely clear exactly how this attaches, but I have worked out the hardware that's supplied, a few pictures. So I've worked out that's going to attach there, and it'll mean a screw through the body there and one up the top here. And this one has a little screw and a nut to hold the little bracket to the scratch board. So, a little progress, a little bit more to go, and I'll create a staining video next. Okay, see you soon.